Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this lecture on Big Bang or Big Bloom. My name is Satinder Singh Malik and I have written few books on Beyond Common Sense. Hindi version is Pragyan Brahm, A Sky Full of Love. There are some more books on Science of Yoga, A Logic of Every Being, and Knowing Through Religion and Spirituality. I served in Indian Air Force as a wing commander in frontline fighter squadrons as a fighter pilot. I am also a disciple of Mahayogi pilot Babaji and Mahavatar Babaji. I am member of Indian Philosophical Family and former director of Air Force Adventures and director of Indian Mountaineering Foundation. I did PhD in adventure tourism from Kurukshetra University and I have traveled widely to Antarctica, Mansarovar, and climbed mountains like Mount Elbrus, Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Stokangri, and I've been in expedition to Mount Vinson. I am a skydiver, paraglider, river rafter, and also a qualified scuba diver. Big Bang theory is the current prevailing theory about origin of the universe. However, there is a counter view. The Vedic view states that universe did not originate from the Big Bang but have originated in a slow and orderly fashion like blooming of a flower. We will evaluate what is Big Bang theory and we will question it and we will evaluate it on the scale of logic. We will also cover the key concepts. We will cover consciousness and nature and how the big bloom has originated as per the Vedas. The role of root nature called Mool Prakriti in the evolution of the universe under the principles of Mahat. Mahat is generation of mass. Then we will evaluate who is mover of the cosmos and we will also surmise on shape of the cosmos before we can undertake any questions. Since the time immemorial, humanity have been asking questions. Who are we? What is our surrounding? And where have we come from? These questions have been answered under the four verticals, one by philosophers, other by religious bodies, then by science to some extent, and by spirituality. These are the four verticals under which we classify the entire knowledge of humanity. If you gaze across the night sky, it is looking at a picture of the history because the closest star to us is Proxima Centauri, which is 4.24 light years away. That means that light which started from Proxima Centauri 4.2 light years away, that light is we are able to see it now. Similarly, the center of our galaxy is 26,000 light years away. Andromeda galaxy, which is closest to our Milky Way galaxy, is 2.537 million light years away. And the farthest object we have spotted by our telescopes is 13.5 billion light years away. In contrast, the physical travel to the moon can take up to 3 days, and physical travel to the Mars can take approximately 7 months, while crossing the solar system and doing a physical travel to the inner edge of the solar system, which is known as Earth cloud, it can take about 300 years, and to fly beyond it, possibly approximately 30,000 years. To view these galaxies and stars, we have developed instruments under the science. Hubble telescope can give us a reading to far flung galaxies, whereas Webb's limit have increased our eye in the sky to explore further away. Looking through these telescopes, scientists have created a map of approximately 56,000 galaxies. That's how much we could see. There could be more galaxies that we do not know yet. Now let's examine what we mean by word universe. Uni means one and verse means canticle of a poem, like a stanza. In ancient scriptures like in Sanskrit, Sri Krishna says, the cosmos is like a tree whose roots are on top and branches are downwards. The verses are the leaves of this tree. The one who knows this aspect of universe is knowledgeable. That means the word universe means only one leaf of this tree, whereas the word cosmos may contain many universes, and that might be more appropriate word to describe our surrounding. The Sanskrit word for the universe is Jagat. Jagat is also made from two words, Ja plus Gat. Ja means knowledge, whereas Gat means movement. Sri Krishna says, and whatever is the seed of all beings, that also am I, O Arjuna. There is no being, whether conscious or non conscious, that can exist without me. The word char is used for conscious and achar is means non conscious, that who cannot think. The J here means it is the coding of the universe, that information, that knowledge which is spread, and this code has created the universe in a further expanding way. In the ancient Greece, philosophers like Plato also had a similar philosophy. Plato believed in immortality of the soul, and he created a theory of forms about distinction between the reality, what we can see, and the objects that we cannot see. He believed in existence of the abstract objects, of objects that does not exist in space or time, and which is therefore entirely non-physical and non-mental. Plato gave a name to the highest reality. That name is the good, and he also created principles of summum bonum, of the highest good. Good as the highest being beyond the cosmos, and nous was the universal mind. The word God has also been evolved from this word good. In contrast with the Plato, there was another theory propounded by Democritus. He was older than Plato, and this theory is known as atomism. He said the void of the space is filled with infinite numbers of atoms that make up all beings. Atom means indivisible, or the smallest, eternal, absolutely small and incompressible unit of the matter that makes all beings. These atoms are homogeneous, they only differ in shape, arrangement, position, and the magnitude. He also believed everyone has a soul, but this soul is also made of atoms. Democritus believed in free will, but he said the free will is because of the vibration of these atoms. Most of our scientists, including Heisenberg, they believe in atomism, and Heisenberg also created his principle of uncertainty using this theory. Rene Descartes is regarded as the philosopher who founded the principles of science. He created a theory of mechanistic universe and said for explaining universe there is no continuing need of for God. Descartes never intended this interpretation and himself was a devout Christian. But the mechanisms and the ideas portrayed in the Descartes discourse on the method and principles of philosophy, they could be easily be interpreted as atheistic. While in Henry Moore's universe, the matter was guided by spirit and manipulated by God entirely at his discretion. George Lemaitre was a Christian padre and MSc in physics who created or propounded this theory of primeval atom. He said the universe has originated from a very small atom and it has expanded thereafter. A similar theory has been found in Puranas, which says the universe originated from a golden seed and Brahma created one part as heavens and one part as earth from this golden seed or the golden womb. This is called Hiranyagarbha. However, this theory is about creation of a galaxy and not about the creation of the entire cosmos. The primeval atom theory was later known as Big Bang theory. While presenting his paper, George Lemaitre said, and I quote, "The evolution of the universe can be likened to a display of fireworks that has just ended, some few wisps, ashes, and smoke, standing on a well chilled cinder. We can see the fading of the suns and try to recall the vanished brilliance of the origin of the worlds. However, I wonder, the creation of the universe is about creation of the light waves, energy, small particles, then followed by electrons, protons, and neutrons, followed by molecules, and only then we can think about ashes and smoke or any display of fireworks like that. However, we must examine the Big Bang theory in whole. Lemaitre stated that physical universe was initially a single particle and called it the primeval atom, which disintegrated in an explosion giving rise to space and time. This expansion started about 2 billion years ago and it's still going on today. At that point of time when he presented his paper, he guessed this time as 2 billion years ago, which has later been revised to now 14 to 18 billion years ago. Later on, the inflation theory modified that Big Bang was not an explosion but an explosive expansion, and timeline was modified to 13.18 billion years ago. The Big Bang theory is based on an incorrect logic. The Christian concept of creation from the one. To deny ex nihilo creatio, that means creation from nothing. He also believed in ex nihilo nihil fit, that means nothing can originate from nothingness. How can an infinite universe exist inside a finite atom? This is something which we must question. The argument from finite size to one is one of the Zeno's paradoxes. Today, when we see journals like New Scientist, they have written an article. A miniature universe shows particles may emerge out of empty space. That means the creation, what we know as empty space, has sprung out of this. The empty space is filled with zero point energy and it creates continuously the particles which may be unstable and may be stable. We all know that scientific theories are based on certain assumptions. However, the theory of general relativity, for the ease of simplification for the calculations, they have made some arbitrary assumptions about nature of space. This theory has assumed that space is homogeneous and isotropic. That means at every place it is just the same as any other place. They also assumed like the universe is like surface of a balloon without any center. However, I wonder, can there be any geometric shape without a center? Now let's aim to examine our solar system. 99.86% of entire mass of solar system is occupied by the sun, whereas rest of the planet are only 0.14% of the mass. The sun affects the space-time fabric of the universe, and in that effect all the planets move. So therefore we can say the impact of space-time or the fabric of space-time is denser towards the sun as compared to the perimeter. This makes us wonder whether the space is homogeneous. In Rig Veda, there is a shloka which translates that Savita has fixed the earth with fetters. Savita has made the heavens form in a plural place where there was no sport. Savita has milked the cloud of the firmament with the indestructible ether like holding the trembling horses. Basically, the force which is spread and which is holding the galaxy Milky Way together starts from the central star, which is also known as central black hole, Sagittarius A star. In Sanskrit, the word for this star is Savitur, and it is cognate with Sagitter, which is, and the force which holds all the stars together is known as Savita. So the force of Savita is more towards the black hole compared to the edges of the galaxy. That also shows that space is not homogeneous. Moving further and extrapolating that these galaxies may also be revolving around a center which is supposedly to be center of the universe. However, the forces which control all the galaxies is known as kriya in Sanskrit. Kriya means action. Basically, this force is the force which also makes the electrons move in the orbit around a neutron, or it gives energy to the particles. This is that force. Now let's take a look at the big picture. Let's assume there is a cosmic center, and this cosmic center around which all the galaxies may be moving is controlling all the galaxies. Then there is a galactic center like Sagittarius A star, which controls the entire galaxy. And then there are stellar systems like solar system. The stars control the planets around them. Therefore, we see that space is not homogeneous but has varying degree of forces in it that affect the planets or the bodies moving in this. Moving further, at present, the Earth also experiences three kind of forces. One is from the Sun, which is known as Usha. One is from the galactic center, which is known as Savita. And one is from the cosmic center, which is known as Kriya or Bhaga. Bhag means movement of light. As per Rig Veda, Brahma's Svita is the gold handed and spread between two regions of heaven and earth. It dispels pain, and where sun spreads the sky with control and radiance destroying darkness. Also, it is written, Svita has fixed the earth with fetters, which we have already covered before. The main questions what we need to ask Big Bang Theory is where did the primeval atom come from and what caused the expansion and what scale of time is used. Is it the earth time that we calculate and say it is 13.8 billion years earlier? Is it a linear scale or exponential? By this, what I mean is if we move close to the center of our galaxy, even 7 minutes spent close to the center of galaxy are like 700 years on Earth. So, if we move much closer to the primeval atom, it could be like 7 seconds or 0.7 seconds. So, how do we measure 13.8 billion years? Is it the Earth time or 13.8 billion years ago? The time is near the primeval atom. It will be beneficial for everyone to note that how do we calculate the timeline. This is done by nucleocosmochronology. The age of individual stars in the Milky Way can be estimated by measuring the abundance of long-lived radioactive elements such as thorium-232 and uranium-238. Then comparing the results to estimate the estimates with comparison to the original abundance. These yield values of about 12.5 billion years and approximately 13.8 billion years of two different stars. This period is calculated from the formation of heavier radioactive elements, which were probably the last ones to form, and they were the unstable. That's how they became radioactive. The duration of the formation of the elements from the beginning of the Big Bang has not been taken into account because of incorrect conceptualization about the formation of matter. Now, if you have seen a mango tree grows, it takes time, maybe 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and then mangoes starts coming up, they become ripe in the season. Now we are only looking at the mango which has become ripe. This mango is this radioactive substance which is fully ripe and about to break down. Now looking at the mango, we are trying to determine the age of the tree. One of the measure of the disorder in the universe is entropy. And in any closed system, entropy must increase. The thermodynamic arrow of time implies that entropy always goes up. This law is often misinterpreted, taking the universe as a closed system. If we take universe as a closed system, then it is finite, then it is not infinite. And if we take it as infinite, then it is open. The universe looks so organized and ordered that it is also known as mechanistic universe with all the stars, solar systems, galaxies, and intricate cosmic structures. The entropy may increase in a closed system, but the intelligence in the cosmos acts against the entropy and keeps it organized. Let's reflect on eternality. As per the logic, everything has a beginning. The Vedas talk about beginning of cosmos at a certain point in time. If there is a beginning, then this world is known eternal. It doesn't mean that it is not an infinite series like 1 in the mathematics, a set of natural numbers, real numbers, etc. However, the world may appear eternal from the perspective of human lifespan. Many wise people say that in this world we will carry on even if we are not there. From that perspective, the world may be considered as eternal. Let's now examine what is infinity. Infinity is a mathematical reality of any open series. The series of numbers will continue to carry on millions, billions, quintillion time quintillions, and so on. These numbers can be calculated or processed as per the processing capability of any machine or individual. It is also interesting to note that symbol of infinity is just like a zero but with a twist in the center. To a fish, the ocean is infinite, and to a tadpole, the lake may also appear to be infinity. And that's how, to humans, the cosmos is infinite. Infinity is a concept of mathematics which is as per the power of the interpreter. It depends on how long you can realize the finite. If the finite is outside the power of interpretation, then it can be treated as infinite. The law of conservation of energy is possible only from a finite expense. Finiteness ensures that energy is conserved and does not get diluted by the infinite spread. Infinity is known as ananta, without any ending. And there is another concept in the Sanskrit literature which is about completeness. There is a shloka in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad which says it is complete and this cosmos is also complete. The completeness leads to completeness. If the completeness of the cosmos is moved out of him who was complete, he still remains complete. Since we have seen the infinity is like a twist in the shunya or zero, the concept of zero was given to the world by Upanishads. It denotes the beginning of the potentiality before the manifestation. That what we mean to say is before the numbers start, shunya is already there. Therefore, shunya represents end of one dimension from where the spread of another dimension starts. It has also properties similar to infinity. At root of every dimension, there can be a zero of that dimension, hiding in it infinity of another dimension. For example, where the matter ends, we find energy, and quantum vacuum fluctuations, etc. And if we remove energy, there is space and time, and then there are unfathomable, complete consciousness that rules this universe. The Puranic concepts, the Puranic means historical concepts in which Big Bang concept has a parallel in Brahmand Purana that from upper part and lower part of Hiranyagarbha or the golden womb, Loka, which is like heavens, Loka is like Dew means electricity like Vidyut or electromagnetic world, and Bhuloka is physical world. They were created. It is about creation of a galaxy, the Milky Way, and not about creation of the entire cosmos. Whereas about the cosmos, it is said that omnipotent source or the seed has created nature with expressed force of will or desire. Pranav, Om. Pranav, the word Pranav means Om or the vibration of Om. It transforms in space, time, and matter containing of Anu, small particles, etc. Now let's broadly examine what is the concept of consciousness in the Puranas and what is the concept of nature or Prakriti. This Venn diagram, it indicates that the great consciousness is called Maheshwara. Maheshwara. Ishwar word indicates consciousness, whereas the time consciousness is called Bhagwan. Bhagwan. The space consciousness is called Brahm, and the full, all three consciousness together, they are part of a prime consciousness called Par-Brahm, beyond the spread, beyond the space, or Param Ishwar, or the ultimate consisting of all three Ishwars, Param Ishwar. Whereas Maheshwar also creates Shakti, Prakriti from his willpower, which is also Mula Prakriti or the root nature. From Mula Prakriti originate the Kriya Shakti, willpower or the Lakshmi, and also Jnana Shakti or knowledge power, the Saraswati. The consciousness motivates the energy, and the energy acts as per the coding of the consciousness. This is the concept which is been propounded in the Vedas, and today it has been found that the space is quantum space is conscious. This is what is the observation for the quantum worlds today. Purush Shukta, or the consciousness aphorism of the Rig Veda, talks about Veshwanar. Veshwanar means the human being who contains all the Vishwa or the revolving world. The scope and importance of Virat Purusha or the great Purush, great consciousness, are vast. All beings are in one part of the Supreme Person, and he has infinite space in the other three parts. Basically, this conforms to observation of matter and the dark matter and dark energy as per the today's scientists also. Let's see what science has to say that what cosmos is made of. It is made of roughly 68% of the dark energy, whereas dark matter makes up to 27%. The rest, everything on earth, everything ever observed with all of our instruments, all normal matter adds up to less than 5% of the universe. And in this 5% of matter also, 73% is hydrogen, whereas 23% is helium, and 4% would be rest of the elements. So how does this cosmos move? Mover of the cosmos is known as Bhagwan in Sanskrit, whereas it is known as Theos in Greek philosophy. Bhagwan is made from two words, Bhag plus Van. Bhag means movement of light, and Van is basically the person who creates that. Bhagwan is known as preserver of the cosmos and represents time, because time originates from the movement, and it is a sequence of the code. Vishnu is the consciousness, and Lakshmi, his consort, is the enabler. She is also known as the Kriya Shakti. Since energy is a priori of time and space, it is also forever. In Vaisheshik Sutra, it is written Karne Kalah. Karnen Kalah. That means the reason is time, and the time is also the cause for the further events. Time is cause for non-eternal substances, particles, etc., and it does not apply to eternal forces like waves. Now let's get introduced to what Big Bloom is like. You see, Vishnu is sleeping on a serpent bed, and from his navel rises a flower, lotus flower, on which Brahma is sitting. Brahma is space. It means that consciousness of space has arisen from consciousness of time. Mula Prakriti means root nature. Root nature means from where the Prakriti started originating in form of thought force, and these waves impinged upon each other, creating patterns and various properties of the waves. These waves collided together in space time, and they created a pattern which could resemble a particle, and with entanglements of energy these particles were either survivable or they continued to exist. In Sanskrit, there is a principle of Mahat, means principle of accumulation of mass. Mahat also means intellect. Principle of mass is one cascading principle from small to big. The formation of matter from lighter to heavier is according to the principle of Mahat. Brahman becomes the playground of both intelligent and intelligence driven energy. This is the quantum space which is also conscious. The mathematical numbers represent various states of energy. 0 indicates the root, that is consciousness, and numerals 1 to 9 are various Shaktis or various forces, with each digit representing a different potential. An infinite series of repetitive patterns in nature exists in form of addition of the two previous forming the next number. This is known as Vedic series. In today's time, this is known as Fibonacci sequence. If numbers are representing energy, then what do the alphabets represent from which the word verse has come? The alphabet represent modification of primal energy, Mula Prakriti, with consciousness and their resultant words and subsequently the verses of the language. This force translates into vibrations of certain frequency and carries that significance in shaping the root subatomic particles, which are the building blocks of the matter. Such cosmic language is known as para. Para also means remote or beyond. This cosmic language contains two types of words. These words are akshar, which are non-continuous and discrete, which are measured and like consonants, and kshar, which are changeable, continuous, and called swar or vowels. Similar to the normal language we use, that vowels bind the consonants together in forming a word. Akshar is root of intelligence, mind and self, and it helps passively in shaping of the Mahat. Such verses continue together to form what is known as padarthas. Pad means is like a prose. It also explains the naming of the universe. Basically, the verses are made of these words. And finally, we come to surmise about the shape of cosmos. The initial expansion from the center was by the faster instantaneous thought force, but it was also finite. Energy, time, and space is continuously being added at the cosmic center. It is continuing to evolve in shape of Sudarshan Chakra, basically a spiral expansion. This spiral expansion can also be seen by movement of our galaxies, movement of our solar system moving in one direction, and in this, while they are rotating like this, in center they will find a heavier mass which is controlling with the certain force the body is moving around it. In the center of the universe is a great black hole, or biggest black hole of the entire cosmos, which binds the entire galaxy together. In the middle part of the cosmos is controlling forces, and towards the periphery of the universe is only empty space, which is continuously expanding, then continuously more energy or kriya shakti is added, and then more light waves and other kind of waves are added. Now what happens when the light travels to the periphery of this space? It reflects back. That's how we see the universe as a holographic universe. Whatever we see could also contain the reflections of an object which was somewhere else. That's how we see certain stars, they have disappeared. Stars cannot disappear by themselves, it is only their images or reflections have disappeared because our position has moved. The movement of this spiral expansion is controlled by Bhagwan and Kriya force. Bhagwan is the consciousness and Kriya force is the Shakti or the force which is activating that consciousness. And with this we have come to end of our presentation. In the background you can see a beautiful mountain where naturally the word Om is written. If you have any questions, you please write in the comment box and I would be glad to answer them. Thank you.